So we're back here, and before I start, I have to admit, and I don't know if you caught this, Roger, but after 54 episodes, I finally got the count wrong in the video and said 53 last week when it was actually episode 54.
No kidding.
I
missed
finally
that
did it.
too.
I can't believe it took this long, but obviously that means we're here for episode 55. We've got a really special episode, a returning guest of sorts, not been on the show before, but Steve Ovens is here, and he's been around quite a bit, so we're looking forward to talking to him. And then we've got tons of league information for you about next season, so we'll get into all that here in just a minute. Stay tuned.
Welcome to the Pitside Podcast, where we discuss the latest news and developments in the Coast to Coast Racing League, as well as other racing news inside and out of iRacing. Here's your host, the A-Let Outlaw, Preston Cranmer, and Roger, the Bassman, Craig.
So we're back. It's been a good week. It's really championship week. I feel like we haven't really let into that a whole lot because we've got so much other stuff going on too. But this is a big week for a lot of drivers.
Yes, it's been starting like tonight. While we're talking here, there's a championship being decided, and that was a hotly contested one in Topless Tuesday. So I think there's like about a 3-way battle for that one. So it should be interesting. But it's been quite a week coming up to this, and going forward, we got lots of news here, folks. So we want to talk to Steve. We had a great night last night. It was some incredible racing, and Marty did a great job last night, and we'll get into that too with Steve Ovens. But then stick around after that, because we're going to go over all the changes for next season. Lots of changes, I think, all for the better. And
you can get the information here first. That's important.
Yes.
None of this information that we're going to give you is available anywhere yet. So this is the first place to hear all the details for next season. Yep. And some of it might give you a competitive advantage. So make sure you listen.
Get all the dirt on the new season.
So there you go. That was
bad.
Horrible.
Yeah.
All right.
So it's championship week, and everybody's winning trophies. Unfortunately, I'm not eligible for anything this year, but I have this still that I treasure. Just thought I'd bring that up.
Your
I've
green
asked
screen.
Andy Patton if he notices.
Your green screen. I played with that one a little bit.
Too bad.
Yeah. That's all right. Everybody's seen the trophy a handful of times already. So
yeah, it's probably something you did to make sure I couldn't show.
I plead the fifth.
But hey, we got a great interview coming up. I mean, this is it's great, and it's kind of sombering a little bit too. It's just, anyway. But we'll have Steve here to talk about that. It was a great night and a great tribute. So we should get into that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I tell you what, why don't we jump over and talk to Steve now, and then right after that, we're going to cut right into all of it, and we'll get into all the details about next season.
Sounds like a plan, man. And we're here with none other than Steve Ovens. Buddy, congratulations. What a performance you put on last night.
Oh, man, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. Wasn't expected by any means, and I appreciate everything you guys did to put that show even on last night, much less to extend a provisional spot for me to get to run in Stu and Brad's race. And I started 25th, dead last, or dead ass last, as we like to say. I went into that as saying to a couple of my buddies, they said, "Hey, I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to be a part of this. I want to stay out of people's way. I know that there's I won't even say very experienced guys. Those guys we ran against last night are the best of the best.
Yeah.
And the last thing I want to do is come in, kind of on a whim like last night and get in anybody's way. And man, I mean, just trying to putt around the bottom, stay, try to grab a little. I honestly, guys, from broadcasting the races back in the day as much as we did, I felt like I was just trying to be like Ryan Beagle last night. Run all the way on the bottom, grab a little bit of the brown coming off the corner, so that, because I'm heavy-footed, I struggle with throttle control even still now, and being able to hit that brown and really give it the gas I wanted to give it. We started going by cars. A couple guys got caught up, and I was looking at the little box in the bottom, and I'm like, man, I'm keeping a guy like Aiden Young behind me. I'm keeping Terry Landis behind me. Like, it didn't matter what happened the rest of the feature.
Yep.
Like, I was running with guys that I, could have only dreamed to have an opportunity to run against. So there, Stu and Brad aside, there was so many things that really made me feel good last night, and that's all I could ask for, man. It was a great night.
And
yeah, it was. It didn't start out really great. You were in the Raiders, and you got punted around a little bit there. You were getting beat up on. So
a little bit. But you know what? Even in that, like in my heat race, me and Bowers got together in the heat race, and he right after the heat race messaged me, man, and everything was cool there. But like, just leading the first 4 laps of that heat race, I mean, when I crossed the line to lead lap 1, I said to Mike and Dave and Bruce, and Chris, I said, that's for Stu and Brad right there. So even just leading that first heat race lap, that was the night for me. And, who would have known what would have happened the rest of the night?
Well, I think you got the pole on the Consi there, didn't you? And didn't you win the Con?
Won the B main.
Yeah.
So like, like the heat race would have been enough. But then I won't say walk away with the B main, because Bruce caught right up to the tail tank there coming to checkers. But like, there was so many moments that just throughout all that's happened this past month, like just to try to explain it to somebody that's not on iRacing or hasn't done this stuff before, it's hard to really try to tell that story. I wrote a little bit last night before I logged off, and it's hard for people that are not involved in this stuff to understand. But like, just those little moments last night, like, man, it doesn't change what's happened in the last month, but God, did it feel good last night.
Well, I think part of it too, Steve, is, and I know iRacing got me through COVID, through all the isolation stuff and that, just having that chance to have social life sort of with the guys. And I think that's a big part of it. Like, like last night, you getting on and, your Pinyan buddies, and that does wonders. So, and it's good to know you got guys like that in your corner.
It was awesome to see those guys back too.
Absolutely, and I said to those guys, I said, I had put my application in a few days prior, knowing that I was going to run last night, and I said to those guys on Sunday, I said, I don't know what everybody's got going on Monday night, but man, if you guys got any way to make this happen, like, this is going to be a great night, and to have you guys along for the ride would really mean a lot to me. And after last night, we've already said, like, hey, we gotta get the band back together,
Pinyan Posse was kicking ass last night, man. I'm telling you,
man,
the Pinyan Posse rides again.
It was fun. It really was. And even for somebody like Bruce, who just he's probably had the worst luck I've ever seen of somebody on iRacing before. and even he said last night, man, that was fun. I think he ran out of gas there in the Renegades race, but he and I were like magnets for the first 30 laps of the race, and every time we were under yellow, I just kept saying to Bruce, you're pinching yourself, right? You're pinching yourself. and he said, yeah, you better be too, because we don't run like this ever.
The run with those, that was amazing. Just hold your own. You didn't just hold your own. I mean, you almost had a top 10 there, I think, if it wasn't for Landis, with Brad telling him to get by you.
Yeah, Terry come up on me with, actually, he was with me for probably the last 10 laps, and And man, it was fun. He was waiting for me to mess up, and I was waiting for myself to mess up. Like I was waiting.
I know that feeling.
You know that feeling. You know what I mean?
I've been in front of Landis knowing that
yeah.
feeling.
And so, and Terry's another one who can run the bottom. I always had an appreciation that how he could make the bottom when nobody else could make it work. And when he got on my tail, I'm like, oh, this is great. He's just waiting for me to screw up, and then he's gonna scoot on by. And there with like 5 to go, I looked and I was like, oh, I don't think I'm gonna make it on fuel. And it was crushing. I was like, I'm gonna finish in the top 10 in the Renegades, and I got a pedal for fuel. Are you kidding me? And he got by me on the last lap. But I'll tell you what, it didn't matter what the number place was last night, man. That was just crazy. It was great. And like you said, the camaraderie of people like Terry.
Yep.
And I got messages from so many people last night. Ross Corinta was one. I know, I don't think I got a message, but I know, and of course now the name is, the winner of the Rebels last night. Oh man.
It's making us look bad now too.
I was in that race.
I've called his name 100 times. But like, even he was, liking posts, like it felt like, that camaraderie that really has been missing, and it couldn't have come at a better time, obviously. And it really lit a fire last night for me to kind of get back on the horse. And I think it's something like this that can really help pull you through some tough times.
Absolutely. I think we've always said that we're building a community here, and I think it comes out in aces. And it was so appropriate last night for you to be in with the Renegades, because it's not just the cream, but most of those guys been around for a long time, and so most of those guys remember you and Brad and your dad. So it meant more to them, I think, being a part of that too. And so it was. It was the appropriate place for sure to do that, and it came off. And how about Marty? Eh, Marty. I thought a couple times he was going to swallow his tongue when he was. He gets so worked up.
I'll tell you, yes, but I'll tell you what. That's what makes Marty great.
Yep.
Is
absolutely
there, without a shadow of a doubt. When you watch Marty's broadcast that he gives a rip about what he's doing, and I know that, for when we got started, I think that was something that I heard from a lot of people was, man, like, you this isn't just like, oh, well, here's a pass for 5th, here's a pass for 4th.
Yep.
Like, Marty is that same kind of guy. He's going to stand up on the bench, and he's going to let you know that somebody just made a huge pass. And and I'll tell you something I heard on the broadcast last night that made me think that even more was he's not just announcing passes for position. He's talking about points implications. Like he's invested in this.
Yes.
And that is what separates good from great.
Much like a couple of guys I remember in the past. And that was the first night Marty came out. It was a throwback to the first night you and Brad, remember, let's try this thing. And it was kind of like, first time you'd ever done anything like that, and it was just like, holy crap, man. It was just amazing. And Marty's been that same way right out of the box, and it's kind of like, whoa. And again, it was just sort of a chance thing, and it's funny how that whole circle of that you guys work together and all that sort of stuff. So Western New York puts out some great announcers, that's for sure.
The first couple times he came to cover races at Land of Legends as a media member, I could kind of tell right away. I saw his work on social, and I saw the articles he was, and just seeing his passion for what he's doing. I mean, when we had an opportunity, I think this past year was the first time, but last year it was. He's worked for us a few times now at the track when we've needed somebody to fill in, and I keep telling these guys, this is the kind of guy we want on our side, and he's doing a great job, man.
Well,
really is.
The other great thing too was, like, he knew you guys intimately, it meant something to him. And we should mention, like, Marty donated the whole night, all his fees, to the Hall of Fame.
I saw
Huge
that last
gesture on his-
night.
yes,
Yeah.
and like, he couldn't do enough, but it meant so much to him to be a part of it too. So it was
Yeah.
just it was great all the way around. It was a great night, and just moving away from that for a minute. You were telling me some great stories about your dad the
Yeah.
other day. Tell me about his wedding day. Go back to that. And a little bit of background there too with that season.
Yeah, I should say wedding weekend. So he ran. So like a lot of places call them street stocks now, but back in the day, at Canandaigua and a couple other places, they split it into an amateur and a novice division. So the novice being guys just getting started. It would almost be like you guys have set up here. Is you've got, it's the same car but it's just different divisions. And so he started in the novice class, and at Canandaigua in particular, there are so many names that have come from that novice and amateur class that have worked their way all through the ranks. But being a low buck racer, my dad was never going to make it any further than street stocks. But so that 79 season, they set out that they wanted to run 3 nights a week. You could run at Dundee Raceway Park, which is now called Outlaw Speedway. You could run there Friday night. You could run Canandaigua Saturday night. And if you still had a car left on Sunday, you could go to Weedsport on Sunday. And that's what they did for that whole season. He won the track championship at all 3 places, which is hard in itself. I mean, just to win one championship, much less to sweep those 3 places. And back in that time, and I'm a bit of a homer. I grew up at Dundee and partially at Canandaigua, and now I work there. Those were capstones back then. Those were the places, like, they were the places to be. And the fact that he won a championship at all 3 of those in the same year was pretty crazy. But
that's a Hall of Fame right there.
Yeah, and
like
he
that.
was so proud. Now I told Marty last night, Dad wasn't like an inducted member of the Hall of Fame there, but he was so proud of the fact that somewhere in the Hall of Fame his name was there from winning those 3 championships that same year. And we went, I want to say it was 2015, the very last year they ran Super Dirt Week at Syracuse at the Mile. We went to the Hall of Fame that week one day just to go peruse, and we were searching for Dad's name high and low, and he ended up finding it. He found the book that it was in, and these are records from years and years ago. But yeah, that really meant a lot to him. It was kind of his legacy, and he was so proud of that. But the story about the wedding weekend is makes me laugh. I think my grandmother's still mad at him, and I'll tell you why. So they raced Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Friday night they started out at Dundee, which was their home tracks, only 10, 15 minutes away. He won that night, and in Victory Lane, he said to the announcer that was interviewing him, hey, anybody in the grandstands, we're getting married tomorrow. Anybody wants to come to the reception, come on down. It's going to be a great time. And we got to party quick because then we got to go to Canandaigua. So everybody laughed. They thought it was, hilarious. Well, they go the next day. They get married. They go to the reception. And my grandmother and a few other people are saying, I've seen people here that, A, I know are not on the guest list, and B, I don't know who they are. Like, they ran out of food. My grandmother was so mad. Oh, she was so mad.
Is this your dad's mom or his mother-in-law?
That would have been his mother-in-law.
Oh.
Yeah. She was hot. Oh, my God, she was hot. So, yeah, so she was not impressed, and he kind of got off easy because, they couldn't stick around for very long because they had to go to Canandaigua to race. He goes
Yeah,
to
they weren't going on their honeymoon. They were going to Canandaigua. Yeah.
no, their honeymoon was a little hotel in Weedsport after winning on Saturday night at Canandaigua. So he goes to Canandaigua and wins that night after making my grandmother upset. And the funny thing is Dad only won at Canandaigua twice, and his last win was that night. Was the day that they got married, so after they won at Canandaigua that night, they took off with his buddy Dan Henry's was his crew chief, and Mom, and Dan all stayed at this hotel in Weedsport. Got up early in the morning Sunday, started doing the maintenance on the car, and I don't recall. I'll have to try to track down now because this is the second time I've told somebody in an interview that I don't remember, but I don't remember how he did at Weedsport Sunday. I don't know that he won that. I know he won the first 2 nights of that weekend, but I mean, there's so many layers to that story.
So
that,
yeah, I want to.
That story should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm just saying, like it should be on an inscription somewhere.
I want to get a clarification here. So he went to Weedsport. That's his honeymoon night. And was the crew chief in the same room with them that night?
I don't know. I don't know about. Well, I mean, I'll be. They probably were to save money because
that's what
like I said, he was a low buck racer, but yeah, that's what they used to do, man. Dundee, they could go home, 10 minutes that night. Canandaigua was only 15-20 minutes away, so that was an easy trip. But Weedsport was a little bit longer. And on top of that, they used to tow with a tow bar. They didn't have a trailer. They didn't have the big, there wasn't a lot of enclosed trailers back then, but they didn't even have an open trailer. It was a tow bar. And there's a good story about that tow bar too, and I can tell it quick. But one night on the way to Dundee, they were getting ready to go to the track, and Dad had said to my mom, he said, "Hey, make sure you check the tow bar before we go." Well, somehow communication got crossed up. The tow bar didn't get checked, and there's one pretty big hill in between our hometown and Dundee, and when they got halfway up that hill, that tow bar came undone, and the race car somehow did a 180 and headed back down the hill side by side with a car going north. The race car's in the southbound lane going north. The car ends up veering off to the left, missing a farmhouse by 2 to 3 feet, and lands out in the middle of a field, which fortunately the farmer hadn't put the cows out to pasture yet, because it probably would have taken a couple cows out along the way. They have to get the farmer to get his tractor, go pull the car out of the field. They hook it back up to the truck. They go to Dundee. Doesn't he win that night? He's standing in Victory Lane getting interviewed, and he looks like he finished last. He wasn't excited, didn't have much to say, and the announcer finally said to him, "What's wrong with you? You look like somebody stole your last toy or something." And he just said, "If you had any idea what we went through to get a win here tonight, you'd understand."
Dang, God.
I mean, the stories that, and I used to roll my eyes when I was a younger kid and I'd hear these stories, but boy, if the last month hasn't shown me just how important those are, man, it's great, and I intend on sharing every one of them along the way, because it's that's how he's going to be remembered.
That's right. That's absolutely, exactly. Man. You got to. It's all those memories. You got all the good stuff, and they're, as long as you're they're in your heart and you're thinking about them, they're never gone. So those are great. So that car was bulletproof, man.
It was, man. It was. They said that thing was a tank. It was painted the ugliest hunter green you could find, and it was something. It was.
And your dad was a DJ as well, right?
Yeah, he ended up doing that later in life. He was a over the road truck driver for quite a long time, 20-25 years. after he wanted to get off the road and be able to be home more. And Brad and I were racing go-karts, so he wanted to be around more to be able to do that with us. He kind of found his way through a bunch of different jobs. My parents were divorced, and then he remarried, and about the time he remarried, he started up a karaoke business, and eventually the karaoke business turned into just a run-of-the-mill DJ business. And he had that for 13 years. And I'm not gonna say that he was the top company in the area, but man, I'll tell you what, he was revered, and people, he is, I can't tell you, after his passing, I can't tell you how many people have come to me and said, you don't know how many people in our family he's DJ'd weddings for. Like, he has DJ'd weddings for entire lines of families. And he, on top of that, he used to announce the Demolition Derby at the county fair where we live. So, like, there's so many different, between racing, announcing, DJing, it's kind of unbelievable to think of how many different people have different memories of him, and for some people, all three of those categories. But individually, I mean, and it's easy because people will always remind you of that when somebody passes. But man, I just could not get over the impact he had on different people, from big things to little things. So
thank God, cool. When he was DJing all those weddings, he wasn't still racing, or he might have been inviting people back to their weddings.
Yeah. Oh man. I joked last night with Marty. I said, I think my grandmother's still upset. He's been gone almost a month now. I think my grandmother's still upset.
I remember, like, he used to come out with the retreads and a lot of the matinee races, and he had to be a DJ because I know the one he had the gift for gab, man. Like, he'd be chatting, but it's really interesting, like that those ties, like, that he drove, but then he got into the whole DJing thing, and now you're basically doing, announcing at a racetrack. I mean, it's all, that's all carried on. His legacy is carrying on at and Brad's.
Absolutely,
will still be carrying on at Land of Legends.
I worked for him as a DJ for 8-9 years, and I really feel like doing that and working with people, and because we
being
used to
entertaining.
Like, we used to tell people, your DJ is going to make or break your event, and I can't tell you that how much I think that has helped me as an announcer at the racetrack, because if I have an off night, or I'm, if people can tell that I'm not totally invested or interested in what I'm doing, that can really drag the event down. And, working with him all those years, all that stuff, you said the gift for gab. I mean, my God, the Stewisms, we used to call them, the things he'd say, I laugh now, but I mean, he really, I think that announcing is something I would have liked to do, but having worked with him and just seeing how he was with people, I think helped me come out of my shell even more.
Yeah. Now, did Brad ever DJ as well?
He did maybe 4 or 5 events total the whole time Dad had the business. Brad was the kind of guy, and this will be no surprise to you guys, Brad was the kind of guy that he would more like to be the guy that Dad called when he had a technical problem, or if something wasn't working right, Brad could help him fix it and figure it out. Dealing necessarily, like, the people side of it, Brad was a little more shy. If he wasn't shy if you got him fired up about something, but he was more on the shy side. And so, DJing an event and having somebody come up that's had a few cocktails and wants to tell him how to do his job and what songs to play, that wasn't really Brad's cup of tea. So he was more happy being the technical guy.
Well, it's also interesting too that Brad, who I know, like, had a few different jobs over the last few years, but he got into doing the trucking just like
Yeah.
your dad, and he
Yeah.
had found. It sounds like he had found his niche.
He
That's
he
kind of that's
he
wild. Man.
did, and I'll be honest with you, when he told me that he was going to be an over the road truck driver, I was happy for him, but I was kind of sad too, because I knew that that was going to take him out on the road Sunday night through Friday afternoon.
Yep.
And this thing that we had worked on together, you know, there was just no way that we were going to be able to continue doing the broadcast stuff like we were. And, you know, he always shrugged it off and said, well, we'll figure out a way. Maybe we do like Sunday nights instead of events during the week, or, you know, something of that sort. But, you know, on one hand, I was sad about that. But on the other hand, I was so damn happy that he had found that thing that he woke up in the morning and he was excited to go do.
Yep.
He wanted to see the country, and, you know, I remember my dad saying to him, well, you know, you're out in a truck. It's not like you're going sightseeing or anything like that. And Brad said, I go sightseeing every day through the windshield of my truck.
Yeah.
And oh man, I wish he had found this years ago. You know, I know that, you know, he jumped around. He was just trying to find that thing that was Brad, and you know, unfortunately, he's so talented at the video and graphic design thing, but school really wasn't his thing. So like getting his degree, that wasn't going to be a route he was going to go. So that kind of closed a lot of doors. But man, when he got out in that truck, man, and a lot of people are like, boy, I don't know if I could take that lifestyle, and he loved it. He really did. So
it's gratifying to know that he found it, at least, you know, before he left us.
Absolutely.
And, getting on a little more positive note, you know, and they say a lot of times, you know, with you know, death and passing comes new life, and big news in your family, buddy. So tell us about your little guy.
Yeah, he's a growing boy. He just went to the doctor yesterday, and we did the little weigh in, and Dad was pretty close to what apparently these arms are pretty good at being a scale. So he's doing great. You know, it's definitely an adjustment. And you know, everybody can tell you that, but until you experience it, it's you know, you don't really get it until you're, you know, elbows deep into it. So
Literally.
But he's not shy of the camera, that's for sure. We're having a lot of fun with him.
How old is he now?
Just turned 2 months.
That's awesome, man. You know what? The best days of your life are just right in front of you, and nothing like something like that to help you get through, you know, these difficult times right now. And this, you've got, you know, a lot of people, you know, there when you need them, you know, and I've heard it from a lot of guys already, just in my limited circle of your circle of friends. So that's all good, and we can't wish you nothing but you know,
absolutely
good luck and success, and we look forward to seeing you on the track and the Penyan boys. Like they were, you know, Hilton's been around here and there. Schultz took some time off, and he was talking about coming back anyways in this winter. But it was good to see them out pretty much in full force. And but
I had a feeling that it was going to be a good thing. We talked about, you know, hey man, it'd mean a lot if you guys could come out, even if you just came out for this night, and then we, you know, figure something out or whatever. And Schultze went and got a 2-year subscription on iRacing, so I think
he's committed.
I think we're committed now.
Well, but, you know, it's a Black Friday. That was a good deal to get.
True.
So.
Oh, absolutely. But last night was so good, and you know, I like I said, I think it's kind of relit a fire, and it's just it's gonna be a very positive getaway, and you know, not necessarily a getaway. It's just, you know, that camaraderie, man. It's something I think I've been missing, and you know, didn't realize it until I was, you know, pot committed into it last night.
You said, I think you said on the broad, you had text, I'm whooped, and I know
Oh.
that like the tension you must have been going through, knowing that you're in with all these guys that like
Yeah.
I can't screw up, and that was an incredible race, and that track was getting tough at the end, man. It was you're bouncing all over the place, and
It was.
yeah.
At one point, I stayed on the bottom the whole time, and at one point it went away. And I was in such a groove, I was like, I don't care if 8 guys drive around the outside of me. Those were the most consistent laps I've ever ran in my entire life.
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? If that's what happens, that's what happens. If that's what's meant to be, that's what's meant to be. And lo and behold, the bottom came back in. And all of a sudden, I was going by Jonathan Short, and I'm telling you, man.
Please keep roasting my teammates. It's the
Yeah,
best.
no, I think eventually, if I remember right, I think he did get back by me. But at one point, I was sitting there and I'm saying, I'm passing guys I should not be passing. Like,
Yeah.
This should not be happening. But I ran the most consistent laps I've ever run. I only hit that inside wall once in 40 laps, or 35-ish laps there. I mean, it was so exciting, and between Landis and Aiden Young on my tail tank just waiting for me to screw up, like that was I was whooped. I was sweating. It was great. It was awesome.
In fairness to Shorty, I think he did finish P4 at the end, but
okay, well that doesn't surprise me because when the bottom came back in, he still seemed to be a guy that could get the outside to still work.
Yeah, that's Shorty.
Yeah,
so
one of those alien guys.
But at one point, and I don't care if it was just for one corner, I passed him for one corner.
That's right.
That's all that matters, man. That's all that matters. I ran a matinee race the other day, and we had a real good turnout. There was like I think 15 guys, 16 guys, which is a good turnout in the matinee. And I ended up on the podium behind Corinta and Aiden Young.
Oh.
And and there was a few other boys that I passed that were were decent runners, and so I can relate. Even on that smaller scale, I felt good, man. I had held my own, and I hadn't screwed anybody up, and made a podium. If you can make a podium with Corinta, you're in good company there. So I totally relate to what you're doing. And I was watching that race and looking at the leaderboard, and like, holy crap! Like, it was amazing. It's just like
at one point. Marty called me out and said that at that point I was the hard charger, and
yes, I remember.
It was at that point that I'm like, okay, I can't screw this up now. Like, I might actually get the hard charger in the Renegades. Are you kidding me? But it's fine, man. Ross Corinta does what Ross Corinta does, and that's put on a show. So good for him, but. I don't care, man. That's the best I've ever felt about an 11th place finish in my life.
That's nothing. That's better than a podium in a few different races. That's for sure.
It felt like a win, man. I mean, just to be able to run with those guys, and like I said, to consistently be able to keep hitting my marks. That's my biggest thing. Throttle control and consistency. And I can put 2 or 3 good laps together, but then whatever life happens, and then it's
I can relate to all that.
Yeah.
But man, I look forward to seeing you on the track. Next week hopefully, and just do what you got to do, and we hope to see you out. And don't be afraid to jump down in our room and chat. But I know you got your buddies there, and you're all doing pretty damn good, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So
it was fun, man. We appreciate you guys having us aboard, and like I said, that camaraderie, man, it just all came back. And I told Mike and Dave and Bruce and Chris, I said, I was so happy to hear from you guys, and to get that invite, and to apply to the league again, and to be a part of it again. I there's a lot of things that has happened in past days, and quite frankly, what you guys were able to do for Dad and Brad last night, the past is the past. We're happy to be back, and I look forward to racing with our buddies again, not just our teammates, but all of our other buddies out there. It's last night.
I think there was a lot of people really happy to see you back on the
Absolutely.
track with our
Yeah.
league,
Yeah.
and I think it's a looking forward, not looking back, and we'll get you in a better place and get you past some of this stuff, buddy, and just reach out to any of us,
Yeah, man.
when need be. And it's a long winter, so we hope to see you out
Yeah.
on that track. I was gonna say, you don't even have to brush the rust off, so you're just
Well,
So-
see, that's the problem. Is I'll come back and prove you're wrong next Monday.
yeah. I know that feeling very well.
The Pitside
But-
curse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, we got to ask our questions, Preston.
Well,
we
now-
can't let them go without asking the questions.
I actually think we should. I think we have to commit to having him back in like 6 weeks or so, and we ask him then.
But he'll be prepared for it then. That's the only problem.
Well, not if we don't tell him the questions. He can go back and study, maybe.
Yeah. He's going to have to go back and watch all those bloody.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. We gotta get the
podcast.
view count up.
Yeah, he's got to watch the other 54 podcasts to find out what the questions are.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys are counting on me for view count, you've come to the wrong place.
Hey, buddy, Preston and I were just talking.
Yeah.
Our view count last night on the broadcast was way up. So
Yeah.
and
Well, we
that's
had a
large part
lot
to
of
you and your
people.
friends.
Yeah, we had a lot of people that were watching. I had a few people message me today that said, "Man, I didn't even know this was the thing." They a couple of them said, "We know that you and Brad did stuff like this, but
Yep.
we've never watched it before. We'd never seen it." So hopefully we've made a few new fans along the way too.
Yeah, I
Awesome.
saw that, and I thought we were talking about that too. That there were some people that were like really impressed and hadn't seen it. So
Yep.
yeah, thanks for bringing your entourage, buddy. And
Absolutely, man.
you got a
Well,
lot of people pulling for you.
We appreciate what you did and what you guys have done for the Hall of Fame, and thank you to all the drivers and
Yes.
and not just the drivers, anybody that put into that. I know Marty put in, and man, we just can't thank you enough. That's something that goes a long way in this whole process. So we appreciate it.
We're happy to
Well,
do
one
it.
of my things, my bucket list now is to get to that museum of weed sport and see your dad's name in that book.
Yeah,
So,
man.
that'd be cool. So,
Good
anyways,
stuff.
thanks again, buddy. It was great,
Yeah.
and it's great to have you back. And if we're on the track, rubbing shoulders might not be as cordial.
It's all good, man. It's
That's
all
right.
good. I can guarantee you that and I said this to somebody last night. I said I can guarantee you guys if I rub wheels with you tonight, it's from lack of talent, not anything
Exactly.
else.
That's what I was going to say. My control issues aren't any better than they were before.
Yeah.
So
Yep. So
it's all good. Thanks again, buddy.
Yeah,
And,
good to have you, bud.
Yeah.
yeah. Thank you guys. We'll see you out on the track.
Absolutely.
Yep. And I want to thank Steve for coming on. I know it's got to be difficult given everything that's been happening in his life. His life is upside down right now, and really appreciate him coming on. And great to have him back. And speaking of back and going forward, we got a great season coming, winter season. We've been hard at work in the background here. Stuff changed right up till today, and in fact, when you see this, something might have changed. We're just everything's subject to change, but we're pretty sure we've got it tied down. If there's any change, it'll probably be for the better. And I think everything we're doing is going to be improvements, and should be an exciting season, I think.
Yeah, and I'm going to pat us on the back a little bit before we get into all the details, because I think, I haven't run a lot of other leagues, but I've run a few, and I've rarely seen between seasons, I don't want to call them drastic changes, but significant changes just in order to make improvements. Now, obviously, we're adding things that we're doing, but generally, we are always making adjustments to the way the racing works and, league rules and those things. So we try to pay a lot of attention to those things, and I think sometimes maybe guys feel like they're not being heard when they're sharing ideas, but we do try to incorporate all those kind of things, and sometimes it might be 2 or 3 seasons later.
Yeah, for sure. People make comments. Somebody sent me a comment today, along with a check, which is always good. So you pay more attention, I guess. But it's but yeah, these things are all acknowledged, and we may not always implement, but it doesn't mean we didn't think it was a great idea, and it might just be filed away, back here, well, hopefully in the back of your head, because mine I might forget, but yeah, it's everything is important, and we got something to say about that in the announcements as well. So
Sure. Absolutely.
yeah, so let's get into it.
Yeah, so we're finishing up week 12, obviously championship week. So we always have our fun week after that, the wild stuff, the unique stuff, I guess, in week 13. So tell us a little bit about what we've got going on in week 13.
Well, the first thing in week 13, because of the Knoxville Nationals, Monday night got pushed. So it will be Monday night will be championship night for Monday Night Madness. So that's important. And Marty could not make it to this, and given it's week 13, that there was nothing scheduled for this, and he's taking his dad to a Bills game tomorrow, and so good on him, family first, and so one of the other announcements, one of our new broadcast teams is going to come in. This is going to be like right out of the box. We're putting them under a lot of pressure, but they stepped up, and that's really important. And I'll get into who's doing it and all that in a couple of minutes when we get down that far. But so Monday night is championship night. Tuesday night we've got so that typically, I know the NASCAR thing affected last season, but typically Tuesday is release day. So if there are any new tracks, and we're still waiting to hear, we're not sure, stuff's coming out. Something I have heard is I've been told that the I-55 will come out after the World of Outlaws series is over. I don't know. By now this may be old news by the time this goes to press right here. But if there is a new track, we'll be using it all week, and we'll be trialing it basically for Hometown Heroes. So so Tuesday night, we've called it Winners and Losers. So the first one is the losers. I'll be there. It's all the non-feature winners. So everybody that hasn't won a feature sticker, basically, they got one last chance in this season to win a feature sticker, and they will be the last winner of the season. Well, second last winner, I guess. And they'll get a transfer into the winner's side. So the first race will be.
Can I put you on the spot?
Put me on the spot.
All right. Now, does my win in the very poorly attended father-son race count, or am I a loser?
Did you get a sticker for that?
I didn't get mailed one, as far as I know.
Okay, we'll have to check into this one,
okay.
Because that's if you've got a sticker, then you and your dad are ineligible. So it's two less guys I gotta go up against. But yeah. So anyways, that's
maybe
deal.
You should let the viewers vote.
Well, I could. Yeah, we could. Yeah, we could put up a vote. Do we let them run? That's right.
I told you I was going to put you on the spot.
Yeah, that's fine. Let's roll with that one, man. So, anyways, to level the playing field, because there's going to be winners in there from dirt mods, from pro late. Some guys don't run the sprints, all that stuff. We're going to be in street stocks. So it's just a level playing field. Everybody's in street stocks. I was trying to come up with a car, and that's probably the best, lowest common denominator, where it's not UMPs or whatever. So anyways, those will be street stocks, and one more ticket to cancel. Come on and have a good time on Tuesday night. It should be good, and we'll get the ultimate winner. Could even name him like the grand champion, whoever wins that second race. So
there you go.
Should be a good night. And then on Wednesday and Thursday we have the qualifiers for the Hawkeye Challenge. So the Hawkeye Challenge will be on a Hometown Heroes night. I've got it on the schedule somewhere. It's not the first week this season. But so on Wednesday night, I think we have, and pardon me, I'm going to have to refer to my notes on all this stuff. Wednesday night will be Legends, Street Stocks, and UMPs. And then Thursday night will be Big Block Modifieds, Pro Late Models, and 305s. And then we'll take the top 4 from each of those races. Actually, what we'll do is go through and find, if guys finish, that they want to finish in the top 4 with 305s and they finish in the top 4 with Pro Lates, they get to choose. So just like last season, guys that finished 5th or 6th, or in my case, I just showed up for a race, and I was the last guy standing, so I got in. So show up for the races. You never know. You might just get a free pass. It's worked in the past. So that's what we got planned for the week 13. And I know the retreads we're going to do on Tuesday. We're going to get in the Formula Vs and go down Mount Washington. And on Thursday, we're going to get in the bugs and go up Mount Washington. So actually, if there's more interest for that, we could open that up to everybody, because those are fun. If you haven't done that, it's a blast. Man.
It is a lot of fun.
It is a real blast. We put 0.1 gallons in the Formula V at the top of the hill, just enough to make it start rolling, and then it's just gravity, and you'll get up to 70 miles an hour going downhill, and there's no engine noise.
Oh,
just
and
the
then when you
laughter in the
finally
background.
wreck, boy, does it piss you off.
Yeah. Yeah. So those would be fun, man. So
all that information, and we're not even into next season.
Yeah.
So
all that, yeah. Okay.
So some of you may have already heard this, but as far as the winter season goes, and it's effective really immediately, the executive committee has added 2 new members, in Joe Halter and Nick Vickery. So those guys have been contributing to our league significantly for some time.
Significantly.
So we're bringing them into the circle, I guess, just to kind of help make decisions for the league. They've been very positive assets for us for a long time. So it made a lot of sense.
Yeah, and one other consideration there too is sort of after the fact looking at it, it brings in 2 more teams. So there was some people might think there's a bias. I really don't think so. The Can-Am racing team is, we're all original members and hung out and stuff, and we're a big part of the executive. And I think we always looked at things on a level scale.
For sure.
Well, I know we did. And but it doesn't hurt to have other teams represented. So we've got Gambler in there now. We've got a Spartan representative. We got Icon. So I think that's good for the league going down. We get the views from a lot of different areas. But those guys have contributed so much. Joe Halter is an absolute workhorse, and Nick has been just awesome in all the stuff he's stepped up on.
Yeah.
And bringing all sorts of new ideas and thoughts, and we need that. We need to shake it up a bit and have people challenge us with new ideas. So really looking forward to that as well. So that's probably a big one. That's a big one. I think it's going to really serve us well.
Yeah.
Going down. So we should move on to Monday Night Madness. We'll go through the nights and we'll talk about some of the changes that we'll be seeing through the week. So Monday Night Madness, not a lot of changes there, other than what we're going to do is we're going to go and reduce the IL. The ILs will still be the same: 200, 225, 250 for the 3 divisions. But in the past, what happened is, if say you were in Rebels, where you're 225, you had to get 200 to do the transfer if you were in the top 10. We're going to take that back now to the IL of your home division. So say you're a Raider, the limit is 250. If you're in the top 10 and you're under 250, you can go into the Rebels.
Yeah.
So that should help a few guys out. It'll open the door, and we'll get a few more guys transferring. So that's the one change we're doing on Mondays. Tuesdays we're going to go back. We're going to add a recruiting race. So we used to do that. Bill Calder, Gary Taylor used to run it, and we're going to just one more level of exposure. We've probably saturated Facebook with our league, and so if we run a bunch of hosted races, it'll be like an I rating of 2,500 or less, and just get guys in there. And league guys are more than welcome to race in those hosted sessions too. It'll give new drivers a view of what the league drivers are like. It'll give especially some of our guys, maybe less experienced guys, it'll give them more track time. So anyways, that's going to be going on. And I'll get into it a little bit later.
Well,
but
just a question about that. I would assume that as league guys are welcome to run until we get to a point where if their sessions are filling up, we may have to reduce who's able to run in those.
Yeah, we'll deal with that
much like
problem.
we used to do.
Yeah. But right now they'll be open.
Yeah.
Joe Halter will be streaming those. So we'll be getting into that a little bit later. But yeah, a lot of new developments. Wednesday night, Hometown Heroes. We still don't have a track at. Go ahead.
You did forget one thing on Tuesday as well.
Oh, Topless Tuesdays. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Still there. We do.
Yeah, and
we need to drum up support. So we need to be getting the driver counts back up. They dwindled a little bit towards the end of the season. They are moving to 8 o'clock next season rather than 9 o'clock, which I think might help some guys be able to show up. But more importantly, I was just able to tell Terry Landis that he did win the championship this season. 694 points to Jack Hitt's 693 points. So that was an incredible battle that came down really essentially to the last lap.
That went week to week to week. There was a third guy in that battle at one point too, wasn't there?
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, was it you?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was 1 point. I mean, those are the ones Jack Hitt will be going. It's like when a season's over and you miss that field goal or whatever. You go back and look at the season like we were saying to Terry, like it could have been just one incident point, like or 2 incident points in a race. But that could be the difference. So again, that's the importance of pace laps, not making contact with anybody.
Yep.
It could determine a championship.
Yep,
So kudos to both those guys. They had great seasons, and it's great to see Terry Landis back in a championship role. He was one of the league's first champions, and I think Jeff Barker, who was our other first champion, I think he was in the hunt there too, wasn't he? He was doing really well in the Topless.
And I said it was me. It was me through at least the first half of the season. I'm not sure that Jeff didn't surpass me like in the last few weeks at least. So he may have been eligible even to win going into tonight.
It's been great to see both of those guys, Barker and Landis, have had a resurgence this season.
Yeah.
And feature stickers and all that sort of stuff. I know the Cat's been covered. The Brewerton Beast has been covered. You can't hardly see the fur for stickers. So that's been good. So yeah, congratulations for sure to Terry, and we would like to see that division get stronger. So 8 o'clock, come out and support that.
And it's a fun one, guys. I'm telling you, you don't have to be good at the cars. A lot of guys are getting out there. There's a little bit of extra practice right at the beginning because we a lot of times eat up all of the practice time. And, guys will help you get settled in the car if you need tips. It's a really light atmosphere. It's a good time. Everybody gets out there and goofs off. We don't typically mute mics, so give it a shot if you're curious because it's worth it.
I even got a podium at the Chili Bowl this season.
Well,
in that league. So
yeah, but the Chili Bowl doesn't count. I mean, it does in real life, but the Chili Bowl and iRacing sticks. But anyway, that's a topic for another day.
Yeah. Wednesday nights. Let's move to Wednesday nights. Hometown Heroes. So we don't know what track we're at press time. We're waiting to see if iRacing is going to release basically I-55. That's we've been hearing that. I've been hearing rumors that it won't be released till after the World of Outlaw series. Who knows? So if it's out, we're gonna run. I mentioned that already. I think we're gonna run it all during week 13 and see how it fits. If it's not that, it'll probably be between Lernerville and Cedar Lake again. We're looking for a track that has the pits where you can go and pit and come back out again, just like a real track. And we'll probably, if it's that case, we'll probably have a vote on where guys want to go. So we'll be running the 305s. The 360s. I mean, car counts were crazy, really well supported. The other change we're doing there is the Pro Late models that ran on Thursdays. We'll be moving them to Wednesdays. It'll be a 6 race mini series. What we're doing is, again, we got so many great partners. The Pro Late Model Dirt Series, Cody Early's series. What we're doing is running off the weeks that they're running. So basically, if you're a pro late model driver, you've got somewhere to race, either our league or their league, every week of the season. So they'll be running that. I think it should be good. Then the other 6 nights will be special events like the 75 lap enduro. We'll have the Hawkeye Challenge, and a number of other special events and special nights. We'll be doing the special nights, so that should be good. And we've got Virtual Grip Network doing that, and we'll get into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
moving on to Thursdays. Do you want to talk about Thursdays?
Yeah, so Thursdays we're going back to our dirt modified setup like we have this season. At 7 o'clock we'll run the 358 the small block modifieds, and then at 8 o'clock we'll run the combined division just like we've been doing the past few seasons with both the small block and the big blocks. You choose whichever car you want to run week to week, so you can make those changes as you like. Most guys are choosing that based on the track. And then at 9 o'clock, we're doing something new. I'm really excited about this one. I've seen stuff like this, but we're going to do it right. We're calling it the King of Dirt. And this is going to feature a different car every week. There'll be a trophy for the champions, and all drivers who compete in a minimum of 10 races will be entered to win a King of Dirt T-shirt. So we're launching a new brand for Thursday nights at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, so it should be good. The two cars I know won't be included are the 305 and the 360 because everybody runs those. The idea of this is to be running cars, all the other dirt cars. So, and basically we're going to start with the lower powered cars, like the Legends, and we're going to have some mini stocks. We trialed those last week, and they're a blast. Once you get a handle on it, it was the Kia Optima, and we may be looking at adding a second car to make it even more interesting, but that'll be one race. But we're going to start with the lower power and work through the season where championship night will be a 410. So it'll be a gamut of different cars every week. So it should be good, and find out who's king of dirt, man.
Now, and I'll tell you, I'm asking this. I think I know the answer. This is a fixed series, right? Not an open series.
It's a fixed series.
Right.
Yes,
just making sure.
Yeah. I think the one thing.
Go
ahead. The one thing we found is like guys are working on setups for 360s. If we had all these open setups, it would just be too many hours of try and get setups for every track every week for different cars. So that's why we keep everything fixed. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Guys can focus on their setups for their 360s, and the rest of the time they can relax. And the only thing they got to remember is on Monday night they got to add fuel because when you go from qualifying to the heat, you better add the fuel because it's not like fixed where you just don't worry about that stuff. So that's one of the things that I've got caught on before.
So Friday nights we have new stuff too. So I'll let you tell us a little bit about that. But this is another one that's something new that we're trying.
We have so many great partners. We have so many great partners, and and Thursday we'll go back to it'll be Extreme E-Speed TV, and we'll get back to that in a minute. So Friday night, so what's happening is Icon Sim Sports and Joe Halter and Rob Neller, we were talking, and they were gonna run a Friday night series, and didn't want to step on our toes, and we got talking more and more and said like, hey, like let's work on this together, like another partnership. So basically it's an Icon Sim Sports night, Friday night excitement or whatever you want to call it. They'll be running, I think, street stocks. These will all be hosted. They'll be running street stocks, and then the limited late models, and then 360s. So they will in a way be a recruiting race. All of those will be recruiting races. If you've ever been in a hosted session with Joe Halter, he's plugging Icon, of course, but he's plugging our league every bit as much. And so what we'll be doing is we're partnering with him. You'll see those races on our schedule. You'll see his streams. He does a Twitch stream. He does a really good job on it. And we'll be streaming those to Coast Racing Network. So it'll be good for them. It's good for us. It's just more exposure. And again, just another great partner, just like the Pro Late Model Dirt Series and all the other people we got working together with us. So really interested in that. So then the other one too is the NASCAR series on Friday and Saturday. Friday will be the Pickup Cup. What we're doing they run the same tracks every week. We're looking at adding 3 more. What we did this past season is we had 6 tracks and we ran them all twice. We're looking at adding 3 mid-sized tracks, the 1.5 miles, to that schedule. So there's that. And on Saturday morning with the Piston Cup, the Cup cars, we'll do a vote to see, do you guys want to run the old car or the next gen car that's out there. So we'll get a poll on that and see what guys want to do.
Yep.
And
So-
Sunday,
I was
go
just going to
Sunday?
ask, have you tried the next gen car yet? Because I have not.
no, I think I bought it. I think, and then I never really took it out there. But yeah. So I don't know. I'll drive it equally as bad as I drive the other one.
There
So
you go.
it's yeah. But I enjoy those races. They're great. If you guys haven't done it, it's a great group of guys, and it's just, even if you're not that good, pit strategies and stuff, you can finish on the podium.
Yep.
It's happened to me before. So a little bit of luck here and there, but you can run with the guys, on most of those tracks. So it's there's always somebody to race against. So
For sure.
we'll be doing that. And then Sunday night, do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so on Sunday night, what we're going to be doing is it's going to be road runners as usual, but we're switching up the cars. So instead of alternating the cars that we were doing this season, we're going to be alternating between the Skip Barbers that we ran a few seasons ago and the Formula Vs. So that'll be fun. The Formula Vs, I used to love the Skip Barbers, but the Formula Vs have become one of my favorites. So those will alternate, and I think they kind of determine that based on which track and sizes and that kind of thing. But if you didn't run Road Runners this season, it's been a lot of fun because you get a new challenge kind of each week, switching from one car to the next. One's not really harder than the other. They just handle a little bit differently.
The Formula Vs are a blast. They're just a blast. We've had the retreads ran them during the on Thursday afternoons, and especially you get on those little shorter tracks that are on the inside of scuba and all that sort of stuff. You can see all your competitors on the track. They're all within the eyesight, and it's a blast. They're great competitive car.
Yeah.
And you're not going super fast, but it's competitive, and makes for some great racing. That's for sure. So looking forward to that.
I think the slower speeds actually help that a little bit because you're not gapping guys, and they draft really well, so that it makes it keeps it competitive.
Yeah, so we're looking to do that, and we would like to get build up support again. We used to get great car counts for that. It tapered off, so hopefully, especially bringing back the Skip Barber car, we'll get back to some of those real good counts. And like I say, the Formula V is an absolute blast to drive. So. It's a free car, so it's cool. They're both free cars, so
yep,
should be good. Here's one, and I can't wait to talk about this because John Hine. So what happened is John Hine, he came to me with this, and it just blew my socks off. I can't believe these guys are stepping up. John Hine, Stephen Goldner, Nick Vickery, and Steven Spees. So John comes to me and says, we'd like to start a driving school, like a racing school. And these guys we're talking free. We're not talking any fees, man. We're talking, if you've got some issues, or you want to learn something or get a little better or improve at something, we're going to set it up. You just fill out the form, and they'll do one-on-one sessions. They'll do group sessions if that's something that somebody wants. Hey, there's a bunch of us need to learn how to qualify better. So they could do that in a group or in a case where it's really awareness of people around you or something.
Learn how to lift.
How to lift. But we'll get a bunch of guys out on the track at the same session. So it's one-on-one coaching. These guys are offering it up for free. You look at these names like Hine, Goldner, Vickery, and Spees. We're talking about the cream of the league.
Yep.
And I'm still a little bit in awe that they're doing this. What a great thing! I've heard other leagues have done it, but there's a fee involved and all that sort of stuff. This comes under the driver's fees, the driver's fund. So take advantage of it. You don't know this, but for the Knoxville Nationals, I got a hold of Hine and I says, can you help me with qualifying? And he knocked off all sorts of time on my lap.
Really?
Unfortunately, I choked the next day in the Knoxville Nationals. You only got 2 laps to do it. But you know what? But saying that, I know what I was doing wrong. A lot of I just need to get more consistent hitting it. But I knew what I was doing wrong. He identified it. He took me out and kind of followed me around, or I followed him, or he just watched what I was doing, or he'd tell me to do make these. I'm not going to tell you what the changes were. You got to go get a lesson. But and then he would watch to see if I was actually hitting the marks, and we review it. So it was awesome. These guys are all awesome guys, and like I say, and the other things go. They're all from different teams. You know,
Right.
like this is not. It's a, you know, they're all from different teams. There's a bandy guy in there. There's a couple gambler guys in there. There's a Spartan guy in there. So and we may add to that group of guys instructing. So I think we've talked to Terry Landis. You know, if you ever want to know how to run the bottom,
Yeah.
there's the master at
That's
it.
the
So
guy.
um,
Well, and
anyways,
so you even mentioned, like, when you were talking to Han, how he helped you with setup. And now these guys aren't going to provide you setups. They
No.
will offer advice on what to tweak when your car's doing certain things. So that just to put that out there, this is going to be an awesome tool, but it isn't something you can just come in and say, "Hey, send me that setup."
Yeah, exactly, and that was they were very clear on that. But you know what? Like I know for somebody like me who just gets a setup and runs, I got no knowledge. Going into a session like that to learn how all the different adjustments can change the car's behavior, that's invaluable, and they're willing to share all that information.
Yeah.
So, you got the best guys in our league sharing their information, so it's pretty cool.
Yep.
It's pretty cool.
It's awesome.
You know, you go with Alex Bergeron, who's absolutely phenomenal. I mean, pulling for the guy to win the World of Outlaws for the 4th time. But, his sessions are like $35, $40. I mean, I'm not saying they're not worth it, but, these are free. And we got guys that, where if they're not in that they can run the Pro Series and be totally respectful, and probably like a guy like Goldner for sure. It's just a matter of time before he gets into the World
Right.
Outlaws
Yep.
stuff. So you're getting it for free. Fantastic. I
Yep.
just can't say enough
It's a
about it.
big step up from all those guys. So you've been teasing it throughout this whole thing. So tell us about the broadcast teams.
Okay, so we've got Monday night. Marty will be back. Marty's been doing a great job. Marty is adding new features. If anybody watched the race last week, you'll see that he's got Zoom working now, where we're watching the drivers in their rigs on caution laps and stuff, and it's another cool dimension. But Marty will be back. Marty's been doing a great job, just like we talked in the interview with Steve Ovens. He's so familiar with guys in the league and what the point structures are, who needs what, and he just does an awesome job. Wednesdays we've had Lowell Jewell set up the Virtual Grip Network, and if you guys watched the Knoxville National Finals, which was like the most complicated thing we've ever done, and they had like a producer. I think the producer's in England. I mean, it was amazing.
Mm-hmm.
They pulled it together, and 4 broadcasters, and like nobody's tripping over each other, and I know they're doing the Zoom stuff too, so it's going to be phenomenal. Those guys just hit it out of the park on that, the toughest thing we've ever tried. So they'll be doing our Wednesday Hometown Heroes.
Which also means, because of their established whatever they've done with iRacing, that our Hometown Heroes events will be back through the iRacing channel as well.
That's good. I almost missed that point, and that's a big point. I mean, that's huge exposure for the league, for the drivers, for your sponsors, and so a lot will come out of that. And the nice thing about Hometown Heroes is that anybody can compete in that. It's not like divisions or anything. And we get great car counts, but anybody can make that podium or get an interview, and we'll make sure people get different exposures. A lot of those special events, we'll be doing driver introductions and stuff too, so everybody in the feature will get a little bit of love, and it'll be on iRacing.
Yep.
So can't wait to do that. We're all excited. They're excited to do our league. They saw our stuff. They wanted to do our league. We saw their stuff. We wanted them to do it. So on Thursday night, we're going to have that King of Dirt series and the Dirt mods, and so Andy Piercefield stepped up here. We were having a problem with filling Thursday. We weren't sure if we were even going to broadcast at one point. We weren't sure what we were going to do with Thursday, and Andy stepped up and said, "You know what? I'm working on something if you guys are interested." And anyways, It's Extreme eSpeed TV. So this is something that Andy's been working on, and we know when Andy Piercefield does something, he doesn't do it
Yeah.
halfway. So I think he's even built a broadcast studio. I'm not sure and all this stuff, but they're green. They're and that's part of this deal, and we've worked with broadcasters in that before, where it's just like Virtual Grip. Virtual Grip is relatively new, but they come with a load of experience. But it's growing. We're growing with them. That's what's going to happen on Thursday. So we might be a little bit slow out of the box. I've seen some of their preliminary test stuff, and they're going to do a great job. And it's just a matter of time, and we'll get all the timing down and everything else. They'll actually be doing Monday night. I think I explained earlier.
You did,
Yeah, Marty's taking his dad to the Bills game, and there wasn't supposed to be a broadcast on week 13, and now there is. And I know Andy, this will be their first broadcast, but he moved mountains to make this happen. I know he adjusted his schedule and trying to work with us. So we need to give them some patience and let them get right up to speed. But by the end of the season, they're just going to be killer, man. Because I've seen some of the stuff they're working on, and totally professional. It's going to be awesome.
I'm looking back over our league history and thinking about the other broadcasters that started up with us. We talked to Steve a little bit ago, and then Marty more recently, who's got an announcing. He's been announcing, but started iRacing, announcing with us, and so that seems to have been good matches in most cases. And I think we can definitely help those guys as much as they're able to help us.
Yeah, and we can't go without saying, like Joe White's been with us for a while now, and Joe has been just a great guide and done a great job, and we really hope that we can hook up with Joe again down the road, and we can work something out and get him back in, because Joe had his own unique way, and it was people loved it. So we hope to get back with Joe down the road somewhere as well. So just wish him good luck, but we've got, and then on Friday we've got Icon Sim Sports TV. I'm not sure what the title of their broadcast is yet, but Friday night should be interesting, and it'll be a little bit different again, because it's more of an in-car thing, or when he's admitting, it's a whole different view. When you're with Joe on those broadcasts, you're not just watching the race, but you're kind of getting an inside track on some of the admin stuff, and that's been proven to be very popular. So, that should be awesome. And he'll also be doing the Tuesday recruiting, which is kind of cool, because I think guys will realize that that we offer a lot more than a lot of leagues do. So, but yeah, that's.
So that's means all coming. 5 nights a week on C2CRN, Monday through Friday.
Yes, and the Pitside podcast on Sunday.
That's right. So somebody just needs to step in on Saturday.
That's right. Okay, do you want to talk about anything down here? We've covered a lot of this stuff.
Well, I did want to ask you, because we talked about NASCAR and Roadrunners, but one thing we didn't mention were matinees. So they'll be relatively the same, right?
Matinees, won't change really. It'll be like fixed 360s on Mondays, and we get great car counts on Mondays and Wednesdays, the 305s in prep for Hometown Heroes, and Thursdays the 358s in prep for the Dirt Mods. We get like we've drawn more in the daytime than we have for some of the evening races at times. So if you can make it, they're great events, and so we'll be having the fixed 360s on Monday, Wednesday the 305s, the fixed 358s on Thursday, and Friday in the afternoon we have the Pickup Cup, and Saturday morning the Piston Cup. So fun races. We usually leave chat open. Everybody knows, we call it Mother's Rules. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all. And it's been highly successful. So it's a little more relaxed. It's more laid back. I know the room that I'm in, it's belly laughs the whole time. It's just Yeah, it's really a lot of fun. Um, and then yeah, the retreads will be running Tuesday afternoons and Thursday afternoon after the 358. So a great group of guys. We just had a few new guys added. So and I think we had a race today. We had like 12 guys. I mean that's not a bad car count. You know, we
Yeah.
had two heats and everything. So it was pretty good. We were street stocks at Lima Land today, so it's just kind of a whole different thing. But anyways, charity events. You want to talk about charity events? You want me
Yes.
to do the first one? You do the second one?
Sure. Yeah, that'd be great.
Because the first one is really close to my heart. It's just going to be a one-day event. I am trying to set up a meeting. I don't know if I should be talking about this out of school, but I've talked to Clint Jeffrey about partnering on this, and we just kind of agreed to talk later. So I will be meeting with them. This is Every Child Matters. It's all about the residential schools up here in Canada where they're finding all these bodies in the from these schools. I don't want to go into it all because I get too upset about it.
Yeah.
But especially with Ashwegan and Six Nations, so many fantastic and fabulous people. We got a lot in our league. We've had Derek Miller on here. There's a number of guys in our league, and there's like Ashwegan Speedway. If you're a fan of Ashwegan, like there's so many Indigenous people that are racing there, and this has just been bothering the heck out of me, and I just want to do something, that. So we're hoping to. It'll be a one-day event. It'll be 360s, and we're hoping to partner with Ashwegan Speedway in some way, shape, or form, to possibly get some of their drivers out or whatever. But anyways, that we'll be doing that hopefully early in the year, and then we were talking to Dean Reynolds, and because he was, I mean, everybody's impressed with the Knoxville Nationals. It's just so cool. We'll do that again, and you and I have talked about what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, so we had thrown this around a little bit, just the idea of doing what is going to be C2C Super Dirt Week, but we're never really able to figure out the way to do it. So you mentioned you talked to Dean a little bit, and Dean said, "Hey, this is how you do it." So what we're going to be doing, we haven't exactly figured out the number of days because it has to coordinate with our schedules, but it's going to be a multi-day event. And it'll be highlighted by a 75-lap feature for the 358 modifieds and a 100-lap feature for big block modified. So we're going to do it up, northeastern dirt modified style, right? So we'll kind of pay homage to them like we've done for the Knoxville Nationals and do our own Super Dirt Week.
Yeah, it was funny because I reached out to Dean and just said, how would you do this, right? And within a half an hour,
it was like he had it done already.
I had this whole thing. This is how you do it, and he had the whole format laid out, and he even added a couple of extra little things. We should try this, try that. It was there. So it was a done deal. As soon as I saw that, it was a done deal. Like this is going to be great. So really excited to be doing that, and that'll be for the Steve King Foundation.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it's always good to do it with those guys, and just I'll mention that right now. I saw Brody Sim was on. He was on the iRacing platform the other day, turning some laps.
I noticed that too. Yeah. I'm hoping we see him out in one of our races here soon.
Yeah. So see what happens there. So the next one, who wants to talk about that one?
You go for it.
Okay. So I guess I could start out by saying, you have been phenomenal in providing iRacing League Manager, but it's a ton of work in the background, the programming and the maintenance of this beast. None of these things are easy, and you saved us when Dan Lisa kind of went south and lost its support. But we have better things for you to be doing, I guess, with the league. And it's time to go back. So Dan Lisa was taken over by Sim Racer Hub. I've had lots of discussions with Clint Sneed. He's the guy that took it over. He's a programming guy. Preston and him have had kind of dialogue back and forth through me. And but basically, what's happened is it's fully supported again. Just so what happened in the early days was they stopped, lost support. So when the new tracks came out, like Lernerville and that, you couldn't enter the race results. So it basically became ineffective for us. And that's when Preston stepped up and built iRacing League Manager. So it's supported again. All the tracks, all the cars are supported. He's got a whole long feature list. There was a few things that weren't working that used to work that I got in touch with him. He had them fixed within a day. So they're keen to the client support is great. The one drawback I'll talk about it right now is right now they don't do qualifying points, but it's on their list, and he knows it's a priority for us, and so we could do it manually, but man, that's going to take a lot of work. When you got 17 divisions, it gets entered very similar to how we did iRacing League Manager, but it's still it's going to take a little bit of manual work and stuff. So we will be transferring over to that this coming season and taking a big load off of Preston's back.
You mentioned earlier that exactly some of the stuff we're sharing could change slightly. That's one of those things where, well, maybe they get it done quickly, or the way we adjust to that problem may change. So you guys may want to stay tuned to that, because I don't know that we've made a final decision exactly how we'll, toggle the racing sessions or the heat sessions, really, or possibly, I guess I should say, to adjust for no qualifying points. So there could be some updates there. So I just say stay tuned. If you don't hear anything, things will be same as normal.
Yeah.
Just sans qualifying points.
Yeah, but it should for the regular user, it shouldn't affect anybody. All the points will be available. What we are looking to do is get a few more volunteers to help enter the points. Right now it's usually me, and if I get busy with stuff, then it's days sometimes before results get out.
Yeah.
Possibly weeks. So that would improve that situation as well. First of all, I can't thank you enough for everything you've done, and and if this thing fails, Preston's assured me that he'll bail us out again.
Yeah.
But I really see with what I've seen from Clint and the work they're doing, and they're actually rewriting it all, recoding it all, and adding all sorts of new features. It should be pretty robust, and so that's a change everybody will be seeing coming down the pipe here.
Yep, and iRacing League Manager wasn't ever anything I really intended to have to end, but it got to the point, some of the code that has to be written to interpret iRacing results is extremely intricate. So it was a matter of anytime something changed on iRacing's end, or we needed to add something, that it would take 10 to 20 hours worth of programming time, and it just wasn't something I could continue to invest in. It'll still be there, like Roger said, if we need it. But for the moment, it's just kind of paused in development. I may or may not pick that back up, but I was happy to do it. It was something that I could use my skill set for and provide it to the league. So it was fun nonetheless.
Well, I mean, it's been awesome, and but I know, like, at this time of year, right when we're getting ready for the next season, like, you're getting overwhelmed by all the code, all the stuff you'd have to change and update, and it's all time critical, and it's a lot of pressure, and we can use you on other stuff and put your skills to work on. So we got a lot of ideas coming down. We got the speed shop. We need to grow the speed shop and get it to where we said we would get it to. So there's a lot of work going on down there. There's a podcast, and there's something else coming that is one of your pet projects.
Yeah,
that we want to talk. This is big.
I'm going to do my best here because it's not on my note sheet, so I'm going to try to remember all of them, but I've teased it a couple of times. We're going to be having a big award show. The date has not been determined yet, but it's intended to be sometime in early to mid-January, and we'll be giving out awards. We talked about that we're going to be having the Coast to Coast Hall of Fame. So during that award show, we'll honor the first 4 Hall of Fame members of our Hall of Fame. and then we will also be awarding Driver of the Week, Driver of the Year, Most Improved Driver. We have a Sportsman of the Year. Help me out, Roger. I'm forgetting some. I know. We'll have Best Rap. So that'll be out. There'll be a post as soon as this goes out. There'll be a post also on the Coast to Coast Racing League Facebook page for you to make nominations there. And then we have a Ironman of the Year, and then we have another one that maybe we haven't named yet, and I can't remember what it was.
Yeah, you know what, you got me.
Well, stay tuned.
But anyway,
there'll be a list that will come out here soon, and a couple of them will require nominations.
You know, there's the Grammys, there's the Emmys, there's the Oscars, and all of that, and now there's going to be the
does it need a name?
C2Cs. I don't know. We got to come up with a whole.
Yeah, I guess.
But we're going to try to do this as professional as we can. It's really Preston and John Hines' brainchild here, and it's gotten some wheels here and taken off. So I think it's going to be really, really cool, and something to tune in for sure. And we're really excited about that. And this is like, the first annual. So
yep. It's going to be a lot of fun. If you're not part of it, which that's another thing I suppose I should mention. Whether you're winning an award or I'm going to be soliciting people to help me give out awards as well. So look out for a message for me, because you may get one. Depending on who the award may be going to as well. So just if you get one, that might be what it's about.
Yeah. So and then the Drivers Fund, we will continue that. So. Driver's Fund, it'll still be $10, and that'll be due week number 1. It's not like this is new and nobody knows about it. Everybody knows about it. If you don't have the money in by the end of week 1, you'll be removed from the league and have to reapply. Could lose your number, causing a lot of work for Bill Calder. So
and you don't want to do that.
You don't want to do that, and Bill's a workhorse. We really appreciate everything he does. We don't need to give him extra work.
That's right.
So we've had the stickers have seemed to be really popular. We've seen them placed everywhere. Hey, and I got one coming to me, so you'll have to see where I put mine. And
oh God.
yeah. So that's what good. And we finally, thanks to Bill, we got the Driver of the Week mugs are being delivered. By the time this podcast comes out, guys should have them. Hopefully, they'll post pictures on the lounge.
Who was Driver of the Week for Week 11?
See, this is the problem. So all those standings and stuff, I haven't done it yet.
Okay, well, that's fine. I'm asking for a reason.
Usually I do that on the weekend. I usually do it, but we've been prepping all these notes and getting everything ready for the next season. And so I haven't done it yet, and I know Calder will be bugging me about that. Bob the Good, thank you to Bob the Good for putting out all those stickers, mailing them all, but he'll be on me about I need to know who I send them to. So so the Drivers Fund supports all that. It supports all the trophies. Andy Patton, Andy will be doing the trophies again this season. This may be the last season. Andy, I think we're wearing him out, man. I mean, we may have to make an adjustment for the coming season, but he's agreed to do them again this season. Like it's like 16, 17 trophies. We cover all the cost of trophies, the shipping, and we're talking about one's going to Australia this year. So
yeah.
Jamie McCarran, congratulations, buddy. But he said that might cost like $90. I just said put it on the slowest boat we can find, but Jamie won't want to hear that. It's so we got that, and there's I just got the bill for our Google account the other day for all our G Drive, keeping all the replays and all that sort of stuff. There's all those sorts of expenses. Say iRacing credits. I seem to put $100 in my account, and the next thing I know, the one day, thank God I checked, and it had like 67 cents. Like there's about 10 races scheduled, and they wouldn't have happened. So I think I got to check. I think I'm down like 10 or 20 bucks again. So I got to get that out. Anyways, and then we never did see anybody post any pictures. The tags from the Hawkeye Challenge, so they all got dog tags.
Yeah, you're right.
So there's yeah. So there's all sorts of things we're doing, and we'll have to see what happens after shipping. But I think we've almost depleted the whole drivers fund, and if there is any left over, we'll find new prizes. Like it all goes back to the drivers. So in one way, shape, or form. So we do, and we need that. Like the iRacing costs aren't going to go down next season,
Nope.
and so it's all good. So we do need to continue to support that. That's about all I've got, Preston. I'm pumped for this next season, and just hopefully get my enough races in on Monday night that I can have some drop weeks, because there's tons of pressure. And,
Yeah. Yeah, I just looked at mine. I am not going to have a drop week this season. So
you don't have a drop week? You got pressure, buddy.
I do not. So this
No.
championship week is going to be very important. So I just need to make that feature and then ride around at the back. So we'll see what happens.
I'll tell you what happened to me this week. It was a blessing in disguise. We were at USA. I finished on the podium in the afternoon, and so I'm thinking, okay, this is going to be good. But my IL is just terrible, and I ended up getting the heat EOL. I'm not sure I deserved it, but you know how that story goes. Nobody ever
deserved it.
Yeah. So, anyways, I got a heat EOL, and then so I kind of cruised, around the back there, and if I had enough points, I'd be ready to transfer to Renegades now. I've got it down below 200, so I had my first ever 0 incidents in a race.
Well, Roger, I got to tell you, I picked up your incidents. I had a 1.11 IL on Monday from not making the feature and only getting 2 laps of the B main in, or whatever it was. So
I thought I was watching, where you missed that feature, and I thought he doesn't have that many laps, and he's had some kind of terrible crashes.
Yeah, I should have gotten back out there and just taken a couple in the B. I just didn't think about it not being a point because of that. I didn't realize how close I was.
That's a reminder for people. If you're in like a B main and you get wrecked out, if you can get out for 3 or 4 laps at the end, just cruise around. I mean, that helps get your IL down.
Yep.
So you got to be thinking about stuff like that, because it can bite you at the end of the season, especially if you don't have drop weeks, and that's kind of where I'm at right now. So. Or that's definitely where you're at. You could be dropping down if you don't run a. Now this is Sunday night. Sundays people see this. So Monday you may have guys gunning for you just to take you out to make sure you don't show up again at Renegades.
They might, but I will file a protest. So try me. No, don't please.
So anyways, and everybody be aware of that IL. It's one last chance to get it down, to transfer up to the next division, or just stay in the division you're in. And it's provided great racing. Like if you look at our A division, I think you're probably one of the only ones in a precarious position. Like it's been incredible racing, and it's the same. I'm not sure about Rebels. There's a few guys there that are struggling, but guys mostly keep it in line.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you'll be down in Raiders for a while, even if you've got an A-level driving skill. Other than you can't stay out of people's way, or whatever it is,
or whatever.
I don't know how to say that any better. But anyways, and we're kind of getting off topic here. I don't know. Is there anything else we want to cover? We want to really thank Steve Ummans coming on. It's great to have Steve back in the league, and and the Pena and posse. They all showed up. It was great to see the support he got from the league, from his buddies, and. I think he'll be okay, but it's going to be a tough run. That's my heart goes out to the whole Ovens family, because pretty devastating for sure.
Well, and I think some of the stuff he said and what you're talking about now is a good just reminder of, we're really out here to have a good time. It is about the camaraderie. We want great competition, but it's never so to the point that it's all right to get, to start screaming at another guy. It's we're out here to have fun. We got to try to keep tempers down. We all fail that, but it's just a good reminder that there's a lot of guys out here that's their only goal.
Yep. So with that, maybe this is our last podcast for the 2021 fall season. We'll be heading into the new season when we do our next podcast. We'll have finish week 13, which should be a bit of a blast. And let's hope they bring us a new dirt track. I'm sick of all the European tracks and NASCAR being, just getting in whatever they want. We need some dirt content, man.
Yeah,
that's my pitch for the week.
I would love to have I-55, but if I have to sacrifice I-55 to get tire wear, I'd be all in there. And we've heard some rumors that that's coming too. So
that would be good. And
we
Port Royal too.
Yep.
I can't wait. Even though, it's just
it's going to be a ways off, but that'll be a blast, and that's got to be a hometown heroes track once we get there, because that's the pinnacle.
I think that's a given.
Yep.
Yes, for sure.
Well, all right, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. This has been episode 55. I'm going to remember now, and we'll be back here next week for episode 56.
And if you've stuck with us this long, thanks for thanks for that.
There was a period where I wondered, like, have they just said, I'll just read it when it comes out now? So we'll have to. I'll look at the analytics and we'll figure out where that is.
Yeah, there you go.
Let you know next week. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you soon.
Take care.